Guys, well, you like my dress? I wear regular clothes too sometimes. Anyway, I decided this dress fits me nicely. I will post a picture about a year ago what this dress looked like, and you won't believe it, totally different. Anyway, guys, today video, it's a very heavy topic, but it been on my mind and I wanted to do it for a long time. Actually, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a seat here or something. Yes, I like to shot in my bathroom. Or maybe I'll get on my knees, it's probably better. Let me scoot back a little bit. Remember, I shot with my iPhone, so it's not always perfect. Anyway, guys, I want to share with you guys about my mental journey. I know my channel is about my health and you guys following my health being my wealth, which I truly believe it from my soul inside. But today I want to share with you something that's very intimate. And no, I'm not looking for sympathy or for people to feel sorry for me. I am just here to share because I know that somebody out there, whether a female or male, that this video it's gonna touch. So let's backtrack. I'm gonna talk about my mental and how it used to be and where it is now. So growing up as a young girl, the traditional African way or whatnot, I was involved in a relationship, which at least I thought it was a relationship at a very young age. I'm not here to point names or point finger because my life has moved on. But it wasn't a healthy relationship. It was control. It was abuse in lots of different forms. Now, abuse doesn't always mean like physically hitting and slapping you. Mental abuse is real. And I thought this person was my life. Now, I'm not going to call, age, year, or name, like I said. And I got so involved in a point that when I got a little older, like in my teens, I was like, this is the person I want to spend my life with. Not realizing that psychologically, I was already damaged because this person had psychologically made me believe that I'm the only thing that's ever going to be good for you. You'll never be good enough for nobody. And like I said, I believe it, and I was in lust. Now I know it's lust. At the time, I thought it was love. And it was very hard and detrimental psychologically for me. And I thought I healed. We do things when we're younger or things happen to us and we think we could just brush it underneath the rug. Fast forward, I get in elementary school and I'm having all of these psychological issues and these problems. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Now, mind you, I'm still psychologically thinking, okay, this has to be life. I can't live my life without that person. And again, being from a West African background, I didn't grow up. I have wonderful parents, and I love my parents. But we didn't have that dialogue. We didn't have that talk, where mom could sit down and say, hey, how was your day? What's going on with you? And whatnot. They did their absolutely best. I'm not going to lie. As a child, I had a good life. I used to travel a lot with my mom, And then she sent me to this country with my brother, thinking she was doing a good thing for my life, to every parent. Well, most parents I know from the West African nation want their kids to have the best life ever. So sending them abroad is like the ultimate dream. But it wasn't the ultimate dream, and it's not the people I was living with. I was living with wonderful people. But it's the impact of what happened to me in that situation. I'm not blaming, the family I was living with at all. And for a long time, I used to blame myself for getting involved with this individual because I thought it was my fault. And the older I got, I had to realize that you were just a child. Even when you were involved as a teenager, you were a child. And this person was so much older than me, knew better. But I thought for a long time it was my fault. It's like, maybe you shouldn't have agreed to even get in a relationship. Like, I was a child. I didn't even know what in the world was a relationship. And that, I'm just giving you guys just a little bit of history. That alone, it took an impact on me as I got older. So fast forward, I'm in middle school, And by God's grace, I'm a very smart student. School have always been my escape. Maybe that's why I have so many certificates and like 3 different degrees. And now I want to be a doctor. But school has been my escape. It was like my way of trying to find myself. So then I met my husband, like right after I finally decided to cut it off with this person. And a little bit after I met my husband, I realized that, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't even know what love is like, because my ideology was love was different from what true love really was. And moving forward, my husband and I, we dated for about 2 years and we got married. African culture, my mom at the time, she was like, you can't go live with him if you're not married to him, which, biblically that's right and all of that. But, and, my husband knows this, he knows this by now. I was like, okay, whatever. If, I was like, he's doing everything anyway. He's a wonderful person. He wants to marry me. But I didn't realize at the time I wasn't psychologically ready for what it means to let somebody love me and for me to love them back in the way they deserve to be loved. Fast forward, I got married. Like within the first year of us being married, I tried to kill myself. Yeah. There were several attempts, then we didn't have children yet, that I would fill up the tub. We had a garden tub at the time. We lived in a nice neighborhood, my husband and I at the time. It was just the 2 of us. And when he go to work, I fill up the tub, and I just wanted to end it all because of that relationship I was in. I didn't heal. I didn't go seek counseling or anything. I thought I was okay. And where it really hit me was when I was in that tub trying to take my own life. I had 2 or 3 attempts. There was 2 times that I passed out. I thought that was it. I still woke up the next morning, and I was like, what? I didn't die? And once my husband found out about what I was trying to do, he bought me a dog. The name was Max, wonderful little puppy. God first, Max saved my life. And I know that was my husband's way, even though he didn't know what was going on with me at the time. He didn't know at the time that as a young girl, I was psychologically involved in a relationship that mentally destroyed me and my self-worth and my self-image and what it meant. And I felt like I was no use, even though at the time I was going to college. And at the time I was almost finished with my first degree, which was my bachelor in education at the time. But yet I was still broken. I was still hurting from that pain. And when I learned that this person had got married, I thought I was healed. And it actually hit me. And I had to realize, why do you care? And I even went to the wedding. Your mental state is so important. And I'm like, why are you here? And again, this person, I let them for so many years have that capability over me. Now you're watching this, you're probably be like, you are smart. How stupid could you be? But education has nothing to do with your mental state, guys. Yes, by God's grace, I'm very smart. I consider myself brilliant in His image and His grace. But there was that hold on me that I had to release myself and realize that, Princess, you got to learn how to let go. And moving backwards, this hindered, back to having Max. Max helped a little bit. And like I said, in the African community, we don't talk about your mental state and all these things. So then when I got my minor in psychology, and when I was in college, and I was like, oh my God. So then a light bulb hit me. I was like, you should go to counseling, Princess. Because now by then, I already had my 2 wonderful children. So I did go to counseling. I went to counseling for like 2 years. I told my husband I was going to go to counseling. He's like, babe, that's a good idea. And I went to counseling, and in counseling, I think I was able to talk and just be myself and express in intimate details of, what really happened in the detail and different things and stuff that happened, the different effects, how I felt like it was my fault and how I felt I couldn't live without this person, and how psychologically that I was destroyed without realizing it, because this started as a girl, a young girl. And I just thought I could bury it. No, guys, you cannot bury the pains. Because when you do that, all it does is just build up and it build up. And, I kept on going to school and getting more certificates, getting more degrees, and trying to find my self-worth. And part of that, unfortunately, it led me to, our kids was at the time, they just turned 2. Well, my son just turned 2, my daughter just turned 2, and unfortunately, I walk away from my marriage. I'm not proud of that, but I didn't know how to love. I didn't even love me anymore, and I needed the help. And I didn't walk away because my husband was a bad husband. I walked away because I didn't even know how to love him anymore. How can I love somebody if I didn't even love myself, guys? And for 2 years, we didn't live in the same house. I got my own place, and my kids were with my parents, and I was still with my kids, like literally every day except when I was at work or school. And finding myself and praying to God, and through this time, I was still going to counseling, but for me, it took God and me praying, getting on my knees. And again, when I wasn't with my husband, I used to think all the time, well, why don't you just end it? What kind of terrible human being are you? What kind of woman leaves her children and her husband, and what everybody think that, she has a perfect life? And I had to realize that I was mentally sick and I needed help. And through prayers and fasting and knowing that, okay, God, what am I doing wrong? Because on the outside, it seemed like I was doing great. When I wasn't with my husband, I had a wonderful job as a director. I was making a lot of money. I made good money as a director. I was the one that's in charge of the facility. And even during that time, I even moved to New York, because in New York, I got a super good job that I was almost going to make $20K a month. That's after taxes. And the reason why I moved to New York, I was trying to find an escape, guys. I was searching and looking for that peace and that mental and that help. And the whole time, I had to realize that I was not healed. That once I became healed, I wasn't going to be searching for answers in all the wrong places. And I was experimenting, with everything that was unhealthy. The drinking, everything that was unhealthy. Only thing I didn't do was did nothing to break the law, Of course, I'm not that person. Never break the law, never plan on doing it. But everything that was toxic to my body, I was putting it in it. Using what I learned in nursing school to try to crush pills and just not to feel. But that was not the answer, guys. And finally, back in track, I came back to Texas. I made a decision because while I was in New York, I went to church. I've always visited a Catholic church for the last 14 years. But I went to the church and I remember laying on the ground and praying to God. I'm like, God, help me. I feel like I'm destroying my life. I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. For me, it took God. Whatever it takes for you, please do it. And me crying on my knees and saying, Father. And I remember laying down and I had a dream and I saw myself back in Texas. And I'm like, I'm going to walk away from my job. I'm going to be making super good money. I'm going to walk away from this awesome studio apartment in Manhattan where I thought I was living the life. And I was also accepted into LIU. And I was about to get into the medical program that I was also pre-accepted into because I passed the exams and everything. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to listen to you. So I moved back to Texas, moved back to the house my husband and I had in Texas, the house I currently live in now. And we still weren't together for the first month or two. and coming back and just still praying to God and asking God, saying, Father, I want to be a better wife. I want to be a better mother. Help me. And I did get back into counseling. The Catholic Church offered a wonderful counseling free service. I took advantage of that. I came back into counseling, but this time it wasn't just counseling. I was doing it with God and asking Him to help me and asking Him to heal me. Fast forward, I went to this women's act retreat that they call, it's called ACT, stands for Adoration Community, Adoration Community Theology and Service. That's what ACT stands for. And being on that retreat, guys, I'm telling you, I went to the retreat at first very hesitant. I went to the retreat broken. I went to the retreat like my marriage was done and everything, Even my husband was like, I can't deal with this, because we were never divorced even when we weren't together. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. It's like, I'm tired, And I didn't blame him for being tired because I was tired of me. And so many times, even while I was back in Texas, I would lay on the rug and when my kids were sleeping, and I just thought about ending it all. And I would think the only thing that held me was, I'm like, these two beautiful children, they need their mother. Nobody can love them the way I can love them. They have wonderful support people, yes, but I was like, that'll be so selfish of me to take my own life. I was like, get help, princess. Back to the retreat. I went to that retreat so hurting. And God first, thank God to my sister-in-law, because she's the one that told me about the retreat. And at the time, I wasn't a member at the parish where I went to the retreat at. And they're like, yeah. I wasn't Catholic yet. They're like, of course, you don't have to be Catholic to come to the retreat. And I went. And at that retreat, I laid it all, guys, at the altar. I'm like, Father, help me through the relationship, mental abuse that went through me thinking I couldn't live without this person, through me looking for myself in all the wrong places, in the club, in the bottle, in the mixing of pills. And yes, a lot of people don't know about me because because none of us are perfect. I was looking for answers. Even my family didn't know that. Even when I stayed with my parents for a little while, they didn't even know I was self-medicated because the signs of abuse, the sign of mental abuse is not always on your face. The sign of your psychological health, of you being sick, is not on your face, guys. So like I said, I lay down at that floor at the altar and I was crying out to God. I'm like, God, when I walk out of this retreat, we went Thursday and it was over on Sunday. I'm like, when I leave these grounds, I don't want to be the same person no more. I was like, I don't want to be that woman that keep wanting to die. I don't want to be that woman that keep finding her happiness in her career and her job and how much she makes and just being this superwoman that thinks she don't need a man in her life, because I have a wonderful man. Yes, you don't need a man to survive, but I appreciate my husband and wanted him in my life, but I needed to get help from me so I can know how to love him. And guys, I'm telling you, miracle does happen. God healed me. When I came back from that retreat, I became a different person. For me, it took laying down on the ground, crying out to God, and say, Father, truly help me. Because there's something called playing Jesus and playing church. And for a long time, I was playing church. And I didn't realize of how broken I was. I didn't realize that traveling to 50 states and going, to different countries. And I even had a scholarship at one point where I got to go to like 8 different countries in Europe and, learn. And it was amazing. But yet, it was an escape. I didn't realize that I was using all those things as an escape. And yes, this video is long, but I want to pour out my heart to you guys and let you know that if you're having anything you have dealt with a relationship or whatever it is, get mental health. For me, it took counseling, it took God, and it took me praying and seeking the answer. And up to this day, I still suffer from depression, but it's nothing like it used to be. No, I'm no longer suicidal. I give God the glory, but I'm still in counseling. I still go to counseling. And because mental health doesn't disappear overnight, we don't constantly like to talk about these things, but it's real. And if you're suffering any kind of mental health, doesn't matter what it is, get help, guys. Help is real. Because there's so many people that have taken their life, and I give God the glory. Because in all, I attempted like 7 different times to take my life. Thank God I wasn't successful, because I wouldn't be here giving you this testimony. My kids won't have their wonderful mother. So guys, I just want to take this time to tell you guys, thanks for listening. Take care of your mental health. It's so important. And it's nothing to be ashamed about to say, I need help. It's okay to go get help. Now, I know our people don't like, not all African, because more and more of us are learning and getting better. But we don't like to talk about these things. We like to brush things underneath the rug. But when you're hurting and you feel like nobody is listening, that's when you start self-medicating. That's when you start harming yourself. And unfortunately, the people that are around you, sometimes that they think they know the signs, but they didn't know. They're like, but she looked like she had everything together. We don't understand. Yes, they don't understand, because it's okay to stop and look at somebody and be like, are you truly okay? Because so often when people ask us, are we okay? We're like, yeah, I'm okay. Because we don't want to let the real stuff out, and we don't want them to think, and when I was dealing with this, the only person I knew for a long time was my husband. Because you don't want people to look at you funny or talk about you, but I had to get to the point where I don't care about what people think. And even doing this video wasn't easy. I've been contemplating on this for months now, and I don't even have a book I'm writing that's healing me and helping me. And the book is going to have like more detail of what exactly happened, and, the different things that, but, no, I'm not promoting my book, because I don't even know if I want to publish it. The idea is it's a way I'm healing myself, to let it out, because when we keep these things inside of our hearts and our mind and our mental state, guess what, guys? All you do is you're the walking dead. That's the best way I can put it together. You're a walking dead when you hold on to all these things that hurt you. You're a walking dead when you don't realize, like, I need help. And then go find it. Find different ways. There's lots of free resources. Now, I did convert to Catholicism because that's the path I chose to go, but, where I found that I want to serve God. And the Catholic Church has lots of wonderful free resources, even if you're not a Christian. If you're in college, like I said, I take advantage of my college free counseling session. As a student, you get about 6 sessions every semester, and I've been utilizing that to my advantage. Or like, even if you're not in college, they have different places that have free counseling. So guys, let's get help. Let's talk more about mental health. And like I said, I don't want my channel to be superficial or fake. I'm a real person. I deal with things. And I just want to be real as much as possible. And even if it causes people to judge me, that's okay, because I'm at the point in my life that the only person opinion that matters to me is my Father in heaven. God's opinion is what matters to me the most. And he's the one that's been healing me, and I know he will continue. He's the reason why I'm still here. He's the reason why I didn't survive killing myself. He's the reason why I didn't overdose. He's the reason why I didn't drown myself. So guys, let's get help. Please, guys. If you're suffering any kind of mental battle, it doesn't matter what it is, even if you think it's little, let's get help before it's too late. I love you guys. I know this is not one of my hype videos. This is a really sensitive topic for me. And thanks for taking the time, for watching the whole thing and listening to me. And like I said, please get help. Help is available. And if you don't know how to get help, I'm going to put my email in the description. I can send you some information of different places that you can get help, counseling and all those different avenues and things like that. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm not here to be YouTube famous. I'm just here to share my life and aspect as much as possible to be real and authentic with you guys. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now. Take care of your mental health. It's important. It includes your health, because your health is your wealth. Bye now.